Hey, what's up, everybody? Now, obviously, originally I wasn't going to do this review till tomorrow, but because of what happened in the last episode of The Walking Dead, I had to review this one. This is The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 1, the season premiere, and I watched the trailer for this season. I'll get into what I thought of that at the end. But, yeah, we're at the season premiere, and overall, this was a hell of a way to kick off Season 7. So let me talk about it. This episode came out on October 23rd, 2016. Yep. And it's called The Day Will Come When You Won't Be. I guess that kind of fits the title. But let's talk about this episode. So this episode starts off with Negan, and it shows after he had murdered whoever it was he murdered in the last episode. Because the whole thing is we actually didn't know who it was. Well, they didn't give it away right away, and I guess that makes sense. You don't really want to kick off right away with somebody hitting somebody off the head with a barbed wire baseball bat. You should probably, save it for the middle of the episode to kind of keep people watching. So he tells Rick that he wanted that to be basically that the group all brought this upon themselves. And Rick tells him that he's going to kill him. Not today, not tomorrow, but he is going to kill him. And then Negan says, with what? And he asks Simon, who is his right-hand man. And then he asks Rick if he has a right-hand man, or did I bash his head in with a barbed wire baseball bat? And then Simon tells him all the weapons he has. And then he kidnaps Rick, throws him on the RV, and he drives off, and he tells Rick that he could just kill him right now. He could just take that axe and hit him right in the back of the head and kill him. And when Rick goes to do it, Negan's ready for it. He goes up with his gun and aims at him, and Rick, drops the Rick drops it. Then Negan hits him in the gut with his gun and tells Rick not to try that shit again, or he'll blow his fucking brains out. And then he drives off, and he tells Rick what could happen. Think about what could happen, think about what could have happened, and think about what just happened. And he drives away, and Rick starts thinking about visions in his head. He thinks about visions of each member of the group that was there, and it shows past clips of that vision. I like that. I thought that was good stuff, because it kind of made you question about which one he killed, which one Negan killed. And then Negan, they get to where they want their destination, and Negan says it's almost dawn. And he tells Rick that that he owns everything that Rick once had, and how Rick works for him now. And he throws his axe outside the RV and tells Rick to go get his axe. And Rick is just so shooken up he doesn't. He had blood all over his face too. And then Negan is killing zombies with his barbed wire baseball bat as they're about to go after him. Negan throws Rick outside the RV, and Rick has to fight off a lot of zombies. He climbs up on top of the RV, and then Rick starts to think about everything that happened. They cut back to where it left off last season, where we didn't know who got killed off, and we found out who it was, and it was Abraham. And it shows Abraham getting hit off the head with the barbed wire baseball bat, and Abraham tells him to suck his nuts, and Negan hits him again and again and again repeatedly with this barbed wire baseball bat. He beats his head into nothing. It was a lot of gore. This is probably the goriest and bloodiest The Walking Dead has ever gotten. Now, typically, I don't like movies that have gore and all that stuff, and I don't like TV shows that do it either. But I also think about it like this. I think it was okay here because it told the story how Negan was just a sick fuck. Plus, you got your head bashed in with a fucking barbed wire baseball bat. What else was going to happen? I mean, I was surprised, though, to see that it was this gory because typically on TV shows, they're not allowed to show this stuff that are this gory. So I do wonder if Walking Dead got in trouble for this, and if AMC... Well, actually, I guess AMC wouldn't, but I wonder if AMC yelled at Walking Dead for this, because typically on TV shows, they're not allowed to show private parts or gore like this, and they did. Like, it was fucking a mess. But I was okay with it in this case. You know, I thought it made Negan look really sick, like a sick fuck. I thought it told the story, how this was supposed to be, like, he was supposed to be disturbing, and this did just that. And he even looked at Rosita, and he's like, I'm sorry, was he with you? And he said, that's just too bad. And he's just talking shit to her. Daryl hits punches Negan in the face, and everybody, two of Negan's groups holds him down. Dwight's gonna shoot him with a crossbow, and Negan says, no, we don't kill our people. We don't kill these people. And then Negan says that now he has to, because in the last episode, Glenn did that. Now he has to, and since Daryl did it this time, there's no more warnings. He said no exception. He's like, you met a lot of people that are a lot of liars, and I want to show you who I really am. And then he hits Glenn off the head with the barbed wire baseball bat. And he actually calls it Lucille. I think he says it to Maggie. You see, Lucille, she's hungry. And he bashes his brains in, and then Glenn tells Maggie, I think he's trying to tell Maggie that he loves her, but obviously because his brains have been bashed in, he can't really say it. And his eyes popped out. And then he hits him again, and he just beats Glenn's head and destroys it. He kills Glenn. Now, there's no sense Glenn is coming back. They've teased Glenn getting killed off so much. He's fucking dead this time. His fucking head was smashed into nothing. He was fucking killed with a barbed wire baseball bat. He ain't coming back. But I love this. I thought, obviously, I got the pick right about who we did hit originally, but obviously I didn't expect, Glenn ever to die because of how often they teased his death. I didn't think they'd ever kill him off, but they did, and I was okay with it. Obviously, I think people are going to be pissed about it because he's been there since the beginning. And I did say myself that he should never be brought back. That the people that should never be killed are the people that have been there from the beginning since they've been there this long. But the way they killed Glenn off, I thought worked, and I loved it. I thought it was great. So then it cuts back to the present, and Rick jumps, and they're back at the bridge where they had the guy that got hung. And Rick jumps on him because Negan shot at him. Negan even says this line, you thought you guys were all going to grow old together, going to sit around the dinner table. Well, he says the campfire and sing Kumbaya, basically. But that's not the way things work anymore. He goes to shoot at Rick. Rick jumps across and hangs onto the zombie. The zombie's head is about to fall off. Negan shoots the zombies. Negan keeps telling Rick to get his axe. He does. He chops, and Rick takes out the zombies and chops them. And then Negan lets Rick in. Negan tells Rick that he no longer owns anybody anymore. He works for him, and he's going to provide for him. And anything that Rick has, he wants. And then he throws up Rick outside with everybody else when they get back. And he tells Rick that he took him out there. Originally, I thought he took him out there to test him to see if he was worthy of being a leader. But he said he wanted Rick to look at him, and that he didn't like the way Rick was looking at him. He was looking at him like he wanted to kill him. He wanted Rick basically to fear him. But he's going to give Rick another chance. And then he tells Rick that these are going to be the last day. That this is going to be everyone's last day on Earth if he fails this test. So he wants Rick. he has Carl come over and he wants Rick to cut Carl's arm off. And Negan had some great lines with this. I don't remember exactly what they were, but I thought this was like, what? I thought he was actually going to cut his fucking arm off. And Rick's just begging for mercy. He's pleading. He's crying. He says, just let this be me. And Rick is about to do it. And Negan's like, see, Rick, that's what I wanted. I wanted you to look at me like that. And Rick's begging for mercy. And he says, and he forces Rick in weakness to say, I will provide for you and, I'll work for you. And then Negan is happy about this. He kidnaps Dale. He said Dale is his property now. And he tells the next group that he'll be back in a week to collect some supplies. And then the group drives off. Everybody's just kind of laid there and distraught. And Maggie's going to try to go to the Hilltop group to get a doctor. All by herself, just going to walk there. And Rick says... Maggie wants Rick to go out there and fight them. Rick says that the numbers are too big and they're talking about how they'll all die. And Maggie doesn't want to put them in danger anymore because she kind of feels at fault that this happened. So Sasha offers to take her, and then the whole group walks off with everybody that's with Abraham and Glenn's dead bodies. And then Rick and everybody leave in the RV, and we see a zombie come up and eat the blood of the dead corpses of Abraham and Glenn. And before the episode actually ended too, they brought up Negan's line again, how you thought you were all going to grow old and eat at the dinner table in a big circle. And then it shows that, like, after everybody with Glenn with his son, Sasha pregnant, and everybody just having a good time, and it was very sad to see that. And then that was the end of the episode. Great episode, 9 out of 10. I thought this was a great season finale. It was absolutely great. It kicked off season 7 the way it should have, and I liked it. See, I think this is why I'm happy that season 6 ended, because it gave people an incentive to want to watch this episode. Because it says here on Wikipedia, for the ratings of this show, it drew an 8.4 rating, which was a total of 17.3 million viewers. It was the most watched series of the night with its second best rating. I'm just saying, if they had, because of that ending, that's what I'm saying. It's about, in TV, it's about ratings, and that got them ratings. So, now obviously because I didn't watch it live, I can't comment, but I can understand people wanting to see it. But see, they got them ratings, and they accomplished their mission. Now, was this too gory? Probably was. Maybe they didn't need to go in depth as much with the gore. Maybe they could have just shown Negan beating one of the guys and not really gone much in the gore. I'll admit, maybe it was a little bit too much, but, but that was season 7. Negan's been great, and he's been in because it does say here, in reaction to the criticism about the amount of violence in the episode, executive producer Gil and Howard said that in light of the negativity feedback, they tamed some of the more gruesome scenes that were in episodes before filmed for the second half of the season. So Howard said that this is not a show that's torture porn. Let's make sure we don't gross that line. I don't know, I really want to read that anymore, but so basically they're not going to have any more and then executive producers Scott M. Gimble and Greg Noctorio counted his statement, stating that the violence in this episode was purposely over the top for the narrative, and as that the awfulness of what happened to the characters as very specific to that episode in the beginning of the whole new story, but it did not reflect a baseline for the violence. So, yeah, I can understand the violence. I don't think this was quite a perfect episode, but 9 out of 10 is very close. I think the last episode might have been a little bit better. Actually, no, I thought this episode was better. It's not as good as the episodes I mentioned in the last episode. The episode where Lori died. Maybe it's actually a little bit better than the episode when Lori died, but it's definitely better. I don't know if it's as good as the first one or the episode where the governor comes in and shoots up the prison. But it is what it is. I give it a 9 out of 10. It was a great way to kick off the season. I'll also say this. I didn't get to talk about this in the last episode because I forgot to. Is this episode I thought did a really good job of humbling Rick. Because I think Rick's in shock. Because I think he thought that he owned the crop. He had everything taken care of. And then he realizes that he's weak. I think it made Rick look weak, and I think that was a good thing. And I wonder where Rick's going to go, because I think Rick looks legitimately scared. And I wonder what Carl's going to think of him now, because he fucking cried like a bitch right in front of Carl. So I actually liked that part of the story. And Negan's a great villain. Like I said, I think based off his performance, he should survive the rest of the series. He should be that final big villain they have, because no one's going to top Negan. They can't. Now, obviously, too, I'll say this. Season 7, I watched the trailer, and it doesn't look all that good. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was the only episode. I don't really expect this season to be all that good. I watched the trailer, and it just looks kind of like crap. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see. But I just didn't really like the trailer that I saw. It didn't really hype me to want to watch this episode or this season. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, my goal is to try to I want to finish The Walking Dead. I want to get caught up on it. I'm actually enjoying it again, but let's see hopefully Season 7 doesn't ruin my interest, because Season 7 didn't look all that interesting. But that's my review. I may make another one of these tonight, but just in case, I'll do my plugs. Make sure you subscribe to this channel for more content and click on the bell so that way every time you upload a video, you guys will get the notifications for it. And make sure you guys do the same thing for my CM Brothers YouTube channel, because I post videos on there as well. And yeah, I am going to try to do at some point my 500 subscriber shout out video. It may be sometime this weekend, but we'll see.